£6 a pair prescription glasses from Select Specs. Proud sponsors of the Wonderbirds and the Case of the Dead Agent. Get yours at selectspecs.com. Previously on Wonderbirds Investigate.
Dean Gaffney is the chief suspect in the murder of his agent.
The slimy Piers Roscoe.
Roscoe had cheated money out of him and also out of our very own Dee.
He also seduced Sherry.
So he could steal a job from her.
And if that wasn't enough,
he tried to manipulate Harriet into scamming money out of her friends for a non-existent drama school.
Then Debbie announced.
She also knew him.
And her twin sister, Jeanette, in an effort to expose Roscoe,
had been framed by him for an aggravated burglary, a crime she most certainly didn't commit, and she's now doing 8 years.
So all four of us had a motive to kill him. But we didn't all have the opportunity. You certainly did, Dee.
Would I kill him for £50,000?
The police think Dean Gaffney did it for 50 quid.
Of course, the motive doesn't have to be money.
Is that some sort of admission?
Absolutely not.
Dee went to the office that night and she says he was alive when she left. You saw her leaving by the time you got there. He was dead.
That's right. But what I didn't explain was after I saw Dee leaving, I didn't go into the office straight away.
You didn't say that.
Well, I'm saying it now.
well, what did you do?
I wandered around for a while, seeing Dee through me. I hadn't a clue what she was doing there. For a time, I thought she might have been in cahoots with him. Was she the actress he was trying to elevate to my role in Benidorm?
Oh, I'd never do that.
I know that here now, but that night I was a mess. I didn't know what to think. If Angelina Jolie had come out of the office, I would have thought she was after my part.
Let not the world see fear and sad distrust govern the motion of a kindly eye.
What?
King John, Act 5, Scene 1. Thank you.
Oh, now is not the time.
Just saying.
It had to be at least an hour before I went back, and I swear he was dead when I got there.
You never went near his office, did you, Harriet? And I'm guessing he was alive when you left him in Joe Allen's.
If he hadn't been, I think someone would have mentioned it.
False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
Lady M, the Scottish tragedy.
Oh, can't you just say it in plain English?
You haven't been telling us the entire truth, have you, Harriet?
I did go to his offices that night.
Well, you should have told us.
Oh yeah, like you told us about the 50 grand and Sherry told us about seeing somebody called Alex Murray.
Murphy.
Whatever. Just because I didn't tell you doesn't mean I killed him.
But did you?
No.
Oh,
I went to his office, but I never saw him.
was he already dead?
I don't know. The office door was locked, so I knocked on it. At first there was no reply. Then I heard someone moving around inside, so I knocked again and shouted, "I know you're in there!"
So what did he do?
He did nothing. It was the cleaner.
We're all locked up for the night. Can't you see that now? I'm doing the cleaning. So if you're back after a job, then you're out of luck.
Oh, that could have been the murderer.
Thinking back, yes, it could.
And did you recognise the voice at all?
No,
Well, could you describe it?
What did she sound like?
nobody I knew. For a start, she was Irish and she had this really deep voice. If I'd heard it again, I'd recognise it immediately.
You did go there.
Yeah,
So we all had the opportunity. The police could arrest any one of us.
Except Debbie.
Except Debbie.
and she probably had the strongest motive of all.
Where were you that evening, Debbie?
We were meant to be meeting up. And if you hadn't cancelled, I probably would never have gone to his office anyway.
You cancelled, did you, Debbie?
That's right. There was somewhere else I had to be.
Where?
I was doing the cleaning, so if you're after a job, then you're out of luck.
You were the cleaner. It was you in his office.
I couldn't bear the thought of Jeanette being in jail. So I confronted him. Then maybe I could just make him feel guilty. I could persuade him to go to the police and tell the truth.
So you did see him?
Yes.
And what happened?
When I arrived, the door was open, so I just went in.
What are you doing here?
I came to see you. What do you think I'm doing here?
Right, before you start, you're wasting your time.
Hear me out.
There's no point.
You stitched her up. Jeanette was nowhere near your house that night.
So?
So you have no conscience at all?
No.
You're just going to let an innocent person rot in jail.
It's not my fault that she can't take a hint. If she'd just have been sensible, she'd now be walking around free instead. She just wouldn't let up. Everywhere I turn, people are asking me awkward questions. I didn't need that sort of aggravation.
You just wanted the money.
What's wrong with that?
It wasn't your money.
Of course it was. They'd promised me it.
Because you lied to them.
And that stops it being my cash? I don't think so.
It's called acquiring money by deception.
How was I deceiving anyone?
The show didn't exist. It was never going to exist.
So? Do you seriously think that one day fresh water and adequate food will exist for the entire world? It doesn't stop them taking your money.
Say what you like. That money is not yours.
God, no, you're just splitting hairs.
This has nothing to do with splitting hairs. What you're doing is illegal.
You say tomato, I say tomato. Let's call the whole thing off, shall we?
No, we shall not. I am not going to let this rest until Jeanette is out of jail.
Then you've got a bit of a wait.
How do you live with yourself? Your entire life is fake. Your name is probably fake. River Monet was definitely fake. And you have a terrible French accent, by the way. And Chantal de Bergerac, fake. There is nothing real about you. Look at this office. It's a front for scamming money out of people. The photos on the wall. Who are all these people? The degree from Las Vegas in theatrical management is not only a fake, but it's also in bad taste. And the BAFTA on the shelf. Well, that's got to be a fake.
Ah, well, that's where you're wrong, because that is real.
I don't believe you. And that's when I climbed up on the chair and grabbed the BAFTA. I was surprised how heavy it was. Roscoe came running over to try and stop me, and at that moment I couldn't hold on to it any longer, and I dropped it right on his head.
You did what?
I dropped the BAFTA on his head.
Hi everyone! You want the good news? Well, I'm going to tell you all anyway. I am no longer a suspect. I am a free man, and they've closed the case.
They've found the killer?
No, apparently it was a misadventure. He was reaching for a BAFTA, which was on a shelf in his office. It slipped out of his hands and smashed him in the face, killing him stone dead. So it's all over.
I don't believe it.
Well, it's true. And the irony is, the BAFTA was
Fake?
stolen. They found loads of other stolen stuff along with the evidence of various cons and scams. And get this, there was a play somebody had asked him to read, and the plot was about how a couple were wanting to get rid of some girl who knew they were crooked. So they set her up, made it look like she robbed them by planting some stolen stuff in her flat. Then the bloke stabbed himself with one of the knives, the icing on the cake. And apparently Roscoe had done all that. His wife has come clean. Some poor girl got sent down for it.
That was my twin sister.
Really? Well, apparently she'll be out real soon. Longer she's in, the more compensation they'll have to pay.
So it's all over?
It's all over.
And we're all in the clear.
Well, unless one of you isn't telling me something.
No.
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 You know what, ladies? Thanks for the support. It got me through.
It's our pleasure.
So, what happens now?
Yeah. What happens now?
Can I just say that everything I said that happened that night, I made up. If we can leave it there.
Why not?
Find out what happens in the next episode of The Case of the Dead Agent, sponsored by Select Specs.
Retail somewhere around £50, something like that.
£6, are you sure?
That's right, £6 a pair, prescription glasses at selectspecs.com.